There was a dinner where my mouth felt like a locked room. Conversation bubbled around me, stories, plates clinking, and every time someone used the nickname I'd used for years, I felt smaller, as if the name itself pressed me back into the shape I'd outgrown. I remember bracing like you brace against cold water, waiting for the wave to take me under.
Right. I could see it on your face. Half laugh, half withdrawal, like someone flicked a light off mid-conversation. That tiny thing stuck, because it was small and also everything.
The name carried a whole map. The version parents used, the form you filled in at school, the signature you learned to make because it kept you safe. For years, I signed that old name out of habit and fear. What I learned the hard way is a name can be shelter and it can be a cell. That realization landed slowly, like a season changing.
Mm-hmm. And there's nothing shameful about survival names. They saved you. But
they can stop serving you. Exactly. For me, the turning point was ridiculous and tiny, a sticky note on a steamed mirror. I'd been practicing my chosen name in my head for years, and one morning I taped it to the glass, pressed it into the fog after a shower, and read it like it was a vow. Seeing the letters there felt both terrifying and electric. After that, I whispered it in the car, mouthed it while I walked the dog, wrote it in the margin of a notebook. Then, practical, bureaucratic step, I filled out a preferred name field at work, clicked submit. There was no parade, just a quiet email confirmation. But when that landed in my inbox, it felt like flipping a switch inside me. Small, bureaucratic, radical.
I remember you showing me that email, and your hands were shaking. I didn't think, this is dramatic. I thought, this is brave.
When you used my chosen name in public the first time, there was a steadying effect I hadn't expected. It felt like someone holding a light for me to step into. But the world doesn't switch overnight. At that same family dinner, when my father heard that name, he paused, fork in the air, and the room quieted in a way that made my chest thud. I thought I'd broken something irreparable.
I hated watching you freeze. I wanted to fix it. But I realized sometimes fixing looks like taking over. Instead, I kept using your name through the rest of the night, low and steady, a small thread through that silence. It wasn't flashy, but it was consistent, and consistency matters more than the big gesture.
That consistency mattered. Later, my father pulled me into a quiet room and asked, softly, in a way that made it worse, why I would do that to the family, as if a word erased generations. I sat there wanting to explain everything, and also wanting to keep my dignity. In that split second, I understood I couldn't demand acceptance. I had to move carefully, and yet not disappear to make them comfortable.
wait, can I push on one thing? You say you tested them gently. Isn't that still giving them power to decide if you can be who you are? Aren't you negotiating your own existence around other people's readiness?
You're not wrong to ask that. And honestly, there were nights I felt enraged at myself for negotiating it all. I remember thinking, why am I asking permission to exist? That heat pushed me toward a fiercer edge I hadn't named before. At the same time, walking out of relationships or family in the way I needed to keep myself safe wasn't always possible. Financially, culturally, emotionally. So testing wasn't about their power. It was a survival strategy when leaving wasn't an immediate option.
Thank you for saying that. I've phrased it sharply. Sorry for making it sound like judgment. What I meant was, I didn't want to normalize bending so much that we disappeared. I just wanted to make sure we were choosing tactics, not conceding out of fear.
No apology needed. You helped me see the difference between strategy and surrender. And that distinction shaped the steps I took next. Tiny,
deliberate, and protective. Concrete examples that helped. I corrected my email signature to the name and watched who noticed. I waited to change a family group chat name until I'd felt the water and knew it wouldn't drown me. And where possible, I asked HR for a private update so my workplace systems could be aligned without a public announcement. Those specific moves let me measure risk and take the next step when it felt safer.
Exactly. For partners listening, be proactive but discreet. Offer to be the quiet correction. Actually, he goes by X. Or ask, do you want me to use your name here? Consent matters. Sometimes they want loud protection. Sometimes they want a quiet witness. Ask first. Then, be dependable.
There were nights I doubted the whole thing. I'd lie awake thinking maybe I'd lost them forever, that the old name was the only bridge left. And then there were tiny surprises. A corrected name in a family message, a hesitant apology, someone learning and letting the new word land. Progress looked like a ragged line with pinprick triumphs along the way. What saved me was knowing I had one person consistently speaking my name without spectacle, calling me in private and in small public moments, so I didn't feel like I was inventing my life alone.
If you're doing this work right now, whether you're practicing a new name, coming out slowly, or holding a fragile truth, 3 practical things from what we learned. 1, practice alone. Say it in the mirror. Stick a note on the glass. 2, test rooms. Change a signature, correct a group chat once, ask HR quietly. 3, pick a witness. One partner or friend who will use the name consistently and protect your dignity. Those small acts stack into something brave.
If you're sitting in your car or at your kitchen sink practicing this name for the first time, this is permission. You do not have to do it all at once. Start with whispers. Put a sticky note on the mirror. Ask one person to use it for a week. Practice correcting an email signature. Protect your own dignity while you test the world. That is not cowardice. It's strategy. You are not broken. You deserve real love. That includes the right to be called by the name that fits you.
We're not therapists. We're 2 men sharing what we lived. If this stirred up a lot, please consider reaching out to an affirming counselor or a trusted community organization. And if you need immediate help, pause this episode and call a local resource. You don't have to carry it alone.
If this resonated with you, tell us in the comments what name you're practicing. If you'd rather be private, just drop "I hear you" so we know you're here. Hit subscribe if you want more stories that meet you where you are. Take a breath. You are worthy. You are not alone. You deserve to be called by the name that fits you.
I hear you. We see you. Keep practicing, keep protecting your dignity, and remember, one small ritual at a time can change everything. You've got this.
This is S&J Pride. We're Samnang and James. You're not alone.